No real incentive to go in on Pure even if you catch him.
Coco now playing with Sohan, just getting a little bit of turret damage down. Will back off, and red buff steal coming through. Jay gonna pop the box, not gonna save his red buff. Pure has to flash out of the gravity field. But Captain Jack nice and buffed up right now. Coco still trying to keep the wave right where it is with under a minute until this Dragon Expression now put on mid-turret killing duty, but Jack is here too. Not gonna find an auto before the wave melts.
Really good watching this pressure game from Chase. He was even contesting first the red buff, then just the Krugs. He's not giving away anything for free. They're chipping down every turret, whether it's the outer and mid or the inner and bot. And they have this short distance to travel between lanes because they can go so aggressively. They do not respect any skirmish advantage for Jin Air.
Yeah, now we do see Jin Air have to deal with this top wave too, which is inching ever closer to their inhibitor turret. There's another turret taken by Captain Jack as they move up 4-0.
Preseason patch in full display on top because they have a 2-turret advantage. The minions are auto-pushing harder. They're doing more damage and taking less damage than the enemy minions. So Sohan will have to go soak it up. He does have the Ravenous Hydra for some AoE damage, but it just means that it draws more people away from important objectives like this Dragon.
That's right. So number 3 now stacked up here for IM as we're looking now at about a 36-minute possible 5th Dragon should they take number 4 as well. So they're keeping up in terms of their win conditions, and now Captain Jack is here with a nice flaming package.
Nice flaming package. Riot invited this, naming it the package.
They did it to themselves, didn't they?
Gotta say, I mean, Faker was just a sight to behold on the mid lane Corki. The bot lane Corki is definitely, I think, the less attractive of the two options. I think in mid lane it can be oppressive. And
well, but if you have a pocket pick like Coco's Jace, then it makes a lot of sense. But
just saying, overall, Corki mid seems like the go, but given the scenario here, absolutely understand the Jace line.
Okay, so now the mid lane push is coming. They want to finish off this last turret. And there's the Trundle Pillar just to isolate Winged on the side and deal a little bit more poke damage. There we go, Captain Jack uses that Valk to get it. Doesn't look like he actually took that turret shot in the end. And there it is, finally. So 1 inner turret remaining, and that's it for Jin Air.
Sohan only able to find farm. Sandra will go and stop the minion wave as it crashes into the outer turret. There's not a single turret down for Jin Air yet. That is the pressure.
Grim.
They haven't been picking up their own buffs, both blue and red, I believe. 2 rotations have been picked up by Jin Air, and they just keep pushing out, and the global gold is the advantage here.
And there's the Trundle again, just breaking up the composition and allowing for that easy poke. Jay gonna go in with a hook and actually takes out Pure, so they get a nice flay into the box. As Pure gets too far forward, tries to use his ultimate, but there's not really any tanky targets for him to select.
See the power of the pressure. All the gold comes from first, the massive amount of turrets there ahead, 5-0, but also the CS. Sohan has been living on scraps. He's almost 100 CS behind.
Yeah. Flame Horizon,
ironically,
will be probably crossed by Flame's teammate, Expression.
Not Flame approved, that one.
We'll just assume Flame might have done better. So
that's true. I don't know about that.
not a Flame believer, are you?
I'm not a Flame denier either.
He's the closer, man. That's his position. We learned that in China.
That's true. He was the LGD closer. When they either didn't care about the result of a match or had it in the bag, Flame came out.
Yeah, that was pretty sad to watch him come into Worlds after LGD had already pretty much assured their elimination in the group stage.
Worth noting that in the summer season, Flame did have an impressive string of results as a starter for a few weeks. It was slow to warm up in the spring season, but It's going to be great to see him in the lineup when he finally does get there, but honestly, Expression struggled last season with stronger teammates. He's leveled up accordingly.
Well, it's very interesting to see Expression because really as a player, known as a strong laner, but kind of a mindless split pusher, but in this game, he's been putting the pressure on in all the right places, and he's going to TP in right now, right behind. It's going to be matched by Fiora, but everyone is there. Jin Air is caught in a very dangerous situation where they're going to be repeatedly poked, and they have nowhere to go. And they wasted already an ultimate coming in from Kalista. Now Chaser going to try on the engage. They do throw it down. Coco does pick up Che, and actually Jin Air escaping without too many losses so far.
Crucially, So1 was able to slow down. Oh, they're still going.
And Captain Jack trying to wade through this Chaos Storm. Chaser going to pop forward, and there's Expression. Grabs another one and slows down So1 for Captain Jack to finish off. Great snipe at max range onto by Coco onto Kuzan. And that's going to mean another turret and an inhibitor right now.
That's why he picks up the Jace. He has the mechanics. He's very good at that long-range snipes. And when it's double AD and some more range champions, the turrets, the inhibitors, they all just go to dust.
Well, Jin Air, though, putting themselves in that very risky situation by catching themselves so far out of position. And Expression getting that neat little teleport behind with all of the vision that they had in the enemy jungle. And now Chaser on the fast track, racing over to Baron with his ultimate.
Now we do see Wind coming in. He's a lower level. There's going to be plenty of people peeling away. Baron's at 5,000.
And that will be denied. Hey, Winged, Sammer time. More spider crushing commencing. Pure actually finishes off that kill with the help of his Ignite.
Coco's doing this immense damage.
Oh no, he just actually killed him with Chomp.
As you do.
As you do.
It's worth knowing that So1 actually was dealing with Expression in the backline, so he actually spared the blushes a little bit. If Lissandra had been able to either go past So1 or ignore him, there would have been a much faster end to that fight. So So1 did his best, but just indicative of the game plan from Longzhu, far enough behind that he couldn't kill Lissandra in a melee matchup on the backside of this fight. We're watching the replay now. It was all on the backside that was really tough. It was just a single pick. It looked like they would get out from here, but the re-engage with some flashes what brought them a re-entry into this fight.
Yeah, Jack with the short Valk and does manage to power his way through the Chaos Storm. Meanwhile, more fighting will make that replay a little bit shorter. Expression did catch a large wave in the bottom side, and now pushing his way towards the bottom inhibitor turret.
It's 4 kills short of a perfect game.
Yeah.
No structures for sure. Not even a hope or a sniff of a dragon.
Yeah. There we go. That Baron buff.
Whoa.
Winged just gets obliterated. Has to flash out after coming down from his rappel, but the chase is still on. Here comes Expression. Does have that opportunity to come in. Not going to take the claw, and instead just focus on clearing out the remaining inhibitors.
Seems like Coco's finally found a team that can play a Jace comp with him.
Wow, I'm actually impressed. Here we go again. Coco now back into hammer stance, finds Winged. Expression there, zoning out Pilot. Caught on the outside. And that's a double kill for Jack. And meanwhile, Kuzan under the turret. Jack has to run away from the Victor ultimate. Chain now trying to run away, but there are only super minions in that direction, and death as he is trapped against the pillar. Triple kill for Coco to go alongside Jack's double, and Longzhu will close out this one 2-0 after struggling a bit in game one, looking very impressive with Coco's Jace in game number 2.
You have to say that when Longzhu's firing on all cylinders, all 5 looked like carries. They were fighting for kills at the end. Even Pure picked up a few on the Trundle. This is what can happen when you stack a lineup with talent. When you start winning, when you start sniffing blood, players like Coco and Chaser, specifically around So1, the solo queue specialist, they played around him and denied him a relevant point in this game. It was a 31-minute game, and it felt like So1 got to play, what, 2 or 3 minutes of League of Legends, then watch gray screens and watch minions die in front of him.
It's pretty much what you have to do around Fiora, though. I mean, there's a reason why we see her banned so much. If you don't check her power early like we saw Longzhu do, she does become an absolute monster. And Chaser, for me, definitely the MVP of that game. Just astoundingly good vision control and pressure, making sure there weren't going to be flanks coming in on his siege line, and very smooth rotations from turret to turret as they rapidly knock down all of the enemy structures.
If you're a Longzhu fan, game 1, played around globals in a difficult, hard to execute comp very well. Game 2, decisive, very decisive, and this is a team adding decisiveness to a team with talent does mean that I think we're going to be talking about them in the postseason.
Yeah, so there we go. Longzhu lives up to expectations after this little bit of a road bump there.
Neo Blaze as Lust Boy, Captain Jack, not Flame, he's in the back room, I guess, but
he's used to it. He likes watching the games from the caster green room and collecting a paycheck.
Oh dear.
All right, well, we'll be Samsung versus EM Fire in our second series of the night. We'll be back in just a few. Possible fifth dragon should they take number 4 as well. So they're keeping up in terms of their win conditions, and now Captain Jack is here with a nice flaming package.
Nice flaming package. Riot invited this, naming it the package.
They did it to themselves, didn't they?
Gotta say, I mean, Faker was just a sight to behold. Short distance to travel between lanes because they can go so aggressively. They do not respect any skirmish advantage for Jin Air.
Yeah, now we do see Jin Air have to deal with this top wave too, which is inching ever closer to their inhibitor turret. There's another turret taken by Captain Jack as they move up 4-0.
Preseason patch in full display on top because they have a 2-turret advantage. No real incentive to go in on Pure even if you catch him.
Coco now playing with Sohan, just getting a little bit of turret damage down. Will back off, and red buff steal coming through. Jay gonna pop the box, not gonna save his red buff. Pure has to flash out of the gravity field. That Captain Jack nice and buffed up right now. Coco still trying to keep the wave right where it is. With
minions are auto pushing harder. They're doing more damage and taking less damage than the enemy minions. So Sohan will have to go soak it up. He does have the Ravenous Hydra for some AoE damage, but it just means that it draws more people away from important objectives like this dragon.
That's right. So number 3 now stacked up here for IM, as we're looking now at about a 36-minute pop per minute until this dragon. Expression now put on mid-turret killing duty, but Jack is here too. Not going to find an auto before the wave melts.
It's really good watching this pressure game from Chase. He was even contesting first the red buff, then just the Krugs. He's not giving away anything for free. They're chipping down every turret, whether it's the outer and mid or the inner and bot. And they have this short